Okay, so I've made this year 8 electricity video to help you with your new module, because it's quite a tricky one, a few concepts to get your head around. Okay, so first thing that we need to do if we're going to look at electricity is we need to know, okay, where does electricity come from? So what is it about? Okay, well, first people who discovered electricity were people who rubbed a rod with a cloth. And what they noticed was, they noticed that the rod would pick up small bits of paper if it was placed near it. And that's cool, you know. I think the word electricity comes from the Greek word for amber, because it's an amber rod that they used. So that's where the word comes from. So let's go into that. Why might it do that? Why might it pick up those bits of paper? Okay, so I'll give you a clue. It's the same reason that when you rub a balloon on your head or on your jumper, you can then stick it to the wall. It's the same thing. Okay, so bear that in mind. Okay, so what's going on here? Well, we have to zoom right in to what's going on in the atoms. So you've used to be drawing your solids like this. Okay, well, these are the atoms. But we're going to need to join. So those are atoms. We're going to need to zoom in again, okay? And what we've got is, we've got this, if we zoom into the atom again, we've got some bits of the atom are positive. They've got a positive charge. Some bits of the atom are neutral. They've got no charge. And then flying around the outside are really, really small bits with a negative charge. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, charge is just a property that these particles inside atoms possess. A bit like you've got mass, okay? So you've got a mass of, say, 40 kilograms. You possess that much mass. Well, these atoms, they've got a charge of either +1, -1, or nothing. That's the charge that they possess. Okay, so these three atoms have got names. It's useful to know what those three subatomic particles are called. So this one is called a proton, and you can remember that because it's positive and it gives a P, proton. This one is a neutron, and you can remember that because it's got a neutral charge, or no charge if you prefer. And then you've got the negative one, which is the electron. And can you figure out which one's going to be to do with electricity and electricity moving? Okay, so how does it work? How does this tiny little particle create the world around us? Okay, so let's go back to the rod and the cloth. When the rod was rubbed by the cloth, what happens is that some of the electrons from the cloth go to the rod. So inside that rod is going to have positives, negatives, and zeros, and in that cloth is going to have positives, negatives, and zeros. But if I've just transferred over a lot of electrons to that cloth, when I rubbed it, they were all rubbed off onto that rod. Well, if you look, I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I've got 9 bits of negative and only 2 bits of positive. So now I'm going to have a -7 charge on there, just for example. And here I've lost 7 electrons, so I'm going to have a +7 charge, because I've given 7 bits of negative to this one, whereas my positive. And to start with, you know that before I rubbed it, the cloth couldn't pick up paper, and neither could the rod. So before I rubbed it, I knew that there was no charge on there. But after I'd rubbed it, I know that this one has a charge, because it picks up the paper, and if I've transferred 7 electrons over, that's how I've done it. Okay, and we call that kind of electricity, that's a special kind of electricity, we call that kind of electricity static electricity. And that's where that rubbing your head with the ball comes into it. Okay, and we're going to be talking about other things that the electron can do in the next episode. So I'll take a break there, and give you a break, because there's a lot to take on board. But year 8, electricity, static. And the reason why it's called static is because these charges, once they've gone to this rod, they don't move, because these are both insulators. Okay, so they don't allow electricity to move. In the next episode, we'll look at what happens when you do allow the electricity to move in copper wires.